this is the story of all these strong, independent women who are holding out for the perfect man. This is going to be you if you're not careful. 37-year-old single influencer, sick of waiting for the perfect partner, enjoys solo honeymoon. So you went on a vacation by yourself. I mean, really? If I went on a vacation by myself and I jerked off in the hotel at night, that's not a solo honeymoon. That's just like any regular day, except I changed the scenery. That's all it is. Now, love thyself. I do that like 7 times a day. Thank you very much. You don't need to tell me that. An influencer who was fed up with being single decided to take herself on a solo honeymoon and vowed to stop depending on men to make her happy. Well, woo, you're gonna be just like that Whammons that wrote Sex in the City, man. Though Brittany Allen revealed that in current year -1, she traveled to London and froze her eggs before booking her dream vacation in France and Italy, reports Jam Press. Yeah, remember that story I covered a few weeks ago about that woman who froze her eggs and they all ended up being duds? Yeah. Now, since then, Allen has been living her best single life. And by the way, I am not gonna fault anyone who legitimately they want to be single, like they enjoy being single, they don't want to ruin this for themselves. But it's clear that this woman wants a man, and she couldn't get the perfect 15 out of 10 man she was looking for, because those men are fine with other women that are better than her, funny enough. She vastly overestimated her value in the sexual marketplace right there. So she's just using this as a coping mechanism. Like it's one thing if you're single by choice, but if you're single as a coping mechanism for not being able to get a date, you're not going to be happy. So I think everyone has days when they're like, I want that, the deep romance, but mostly I don't feel pressure to get married, sit down in a YouTube video. I heard this quote: once you get married at 50 to the love of your life, you could be with this person for 30 years. Yeah, then you die of cancer at like 60. Yeah, don't forget that, man. Like even if the average age is the average lifespan is like 80, you might be one of the lucky ones and make it to 110, or you might be dead at 50. And my longest relationship was around 5 years, and that felt like forever. So 30 years to be with the love of your life makes me so happy. I'm not in a rush. Continue the influencer. Well, considering that your standards are probably not going to go down any during that time, the guys you're going to be going for are all going to be going for women much younger than you. So according to Alan, her outlook on life comes from her parents. I had really supportive parents. Really, they're just like, Britt, we want you to experience everything in life to have so much fun. So Alan said that her parents told her marriage is amazing, kids are amazing, but it's not this perfect solution. And it's really hard. Not everyone gets a perfect marriage or, perfect children. Yeah, this is one of those moments where actually adoption might be the better option. Because if you adopt a kid, like especially if it's an older kid, you can pick one that has that is the best fit for you personality wise and won't be a massive disappointment. But if you have your own biological kids and they end up being complete disappointments, like, man, that must be tough. Now, according to the influencer, her parents encouraged her to live her life to the fullest. Despite loving her life, the Seattle native is not above worrying over societal pressures. My 20-year-old self was completely different. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, confessed Alan. In the short term, I think, you're probably happier here, but in the long term, you probably would have been happier doing that, So I was in love with a guy that I knew from high school, and I thought we were going to live the same town and get married and have kids by 27 or 30, and I would have some passion projects on the side. But I was just going to be a mom and never leave Seattle, but at 25, we broke up, and I've gone to a completely different direction. I think she would be in awe and think that it's quite cool that what she thought was true in life is actually the opposite. Anything you can think is going to happen probably won't really happen. Well, take your own advice, okay? Look, this is actually true. Anything you think is going to happen probably won't happen. A few paragraphs prior, oh yeah, I could get married at 50 to the love of my life and I still have 30 years with that person. Take your own advice before it's too late. So since the breakup, Alan realized the honeymoon shouldn't be confined to married couples. It's literally a fucking vacation. So there's so many places I want to go, but I was waiting for that perfect partner, the perfect relationship set out. South of France was one of them. In Venice, Italy, going on a gondola ride. I was going on an African safari. Now that I'm in my mid to late 30s, I'm like, wait, why am I waiting? Good question. I don't fault her for that. Just go do it. I've actually found maybe this is just me, but I actually enjoy vacations more when I'm by myself because, like, the more people you add to the trip, then you always get into arguments about what are we gonna do? Oh, I don't want to go there. I'm not interested in this. I want to do this instead. And then, okay, let's just all split up and do our own thing then. Oh, but that defeats the purpose of going together. So it is just so much better being able to do whatever you want when you want and not have to worry about putting up with other people's bullshit. I mean, dude, I would prefer to go on vacations by myself, but that's me. Like this woman here clearly wants to go with a man. So since going on her travels, Anna has posted her journey on social media, so it's a source of empowerment for other single women's. People really love that content. I think I'd probably had 1,000 messages of women's planning their own me moons. It's been really cool to know that's inspired women's to solo travel, and I would say you're not going to regret it. Depends on where you go, because I mean, really, this is one advantage that men do have, actually. Men for the most part can travel alone, but you got other security concerns to worry about if you're a woman, especially an attractive one traveling alone. It's such an empowering feeling to know I was brave. I did this when I'm doing something for myself. I'm an interesting person that wants to explore the world. Oh, yeah. I'm an interesting person. Dude, every single one of these women are exactly the same. Oh, I want to travel. I want to see the world. Oh, I'm such an interesting person, identical to all the other interesting persons. When you're on, it's less scary. I've made videos to hopefully help women go through the nuances of solo travel, like dining alone. How the fuck is dining alone a nuance? You sit down, you order your food, you eat, you leave. Like, what is nuanced about that? Oh, I get it. You were expecting someone else to pay for it for you. Is that it? So even though Alan has a positive outlook on things, the videos come under fire from several internet trolls. So it's always just random men that are trolls, and I'm like, if it's not clear, this page is not for you, so please leave. Oh my God, what a bigot. You guys gonna let that bigotry slide? No, you're supposed to be inclusive. I'm not asking you to be part of the conversation, but it's always misogynistic, insecure men that make comments. Well, we'll be waiting for you to put out your book later in life. For the most part, Alan says her page is a positive place. Just literally just ban them. Like if it's a problem, just ban them. Seriously, just ban them. So according to Alan, she has put dreams of being a mom on hold for the moment and chosen to travel the world. Yeah, you know that's on hold permanently. I'm sorry to break it to you. Yeah, those eggs are probably going to be duds. Maybe if you succeed in having a kid, you'll be like 50, not going to be able to raise that kid anyway. So egg freezing in America is insanely expensive, and only really big tech companies or big corporates usually cover it. Otherwise, it could be around 18,000, so I couldn't afford that. That's a lot of money for something that has such a low success rate, too. Alan reviewed the first time she tried to freeze her eggs. The medicine didn't work, and she eventually had to stop taking it, but it hasn't deterred her. My body just wasn't picking up the medicine correctly. My follicles are not growing, so after 8 days, I had to stop. Hopefully this spring and probably next fall, too, I'll try freezing again, and once I do that, I think I'm really going to have a lot of peace of mind. I don't think it's a good idea, man. We've had stories on this channel of other women who did the same thing. Didn't end well. Alan said that while her me moon worked for her, she was aware that there's no one-size-fits-all route. True. Now that I'm 37, damn, I've seen a lot of women's go on different paths, and one is not better than the other. And you're not instantly happy if you're married. You're not instantly happy if you're a mother, which is true. In some ways, I think being more independent and single is easier. Until this society being kept up by the labors of men collapses, anyway. Not so much anymore. I could just scroll in bed in the morning, look up flights next week if I want to go somewhere. The world is my oyster right now. I definitely have real pleasure, real pressures, but one life is not better than another. I just think you have to realize that your life is unique and you have to accept that. Which, once again, it is true. But if you fall into one life as a coping mechanism because you couldn't get the one you did want, you're probably not going to be happy. Now, if you're living the life you always wanted and you're happy, that's a different story. But what do I know? I'm just a guy that realizes you just want to go on a solo vacation and you're putting way too much weight in it.